I really want to find out, actually, where are you from in the United States?
Yeah, I was born in Boston. Lived there for 10 years until I was, older kid, and then moved to Florida. I lived in Tampa, Miami, and went to college, university, in a town called Tallahassee.
Hey.
I left there and worked everywhere, St. Louis, Miami, New York, and settled in Atlanta. So I moved to Africa from Atlanta, Georgia.
Why moving to Africa?
Why not?
I guess that was a fair question coming from me and a fair answer coming from her. Why not? Africa is for Africans, isn't it? So on this channel today, I'm going to be interviewing someone, an American living in South Africa, a person who has been drawn to South Africa because of her passion for development of any kind, a businesswoman that I'm going to be interviewing who's got a very great interest in rural development, who's been listening to me and watching me on this channel talking about rural development in South Africa. She definitely has a lot to share about the beauty of Africa and South Africa for that matter. This is going to be a very beautiful conversation between two professional women, business women who are trying to provide insights to those who have been asking so many questions about how to do business in the continent, especially in South Africa. Our focus is going to be in South Africa because that's where I am, and also in the rural areas of South Africa. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and thank you for tuning in. My name is Velile. I am a lifestyle blogger from South Africa. If you're new on this channel, you're very much welcome, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment on this video. Thank you guys for 28,000 subscribers. We are growing on this channel and I really appreciate it. So today guys, I'm going to be interviewing Ashley. Ashley is an African American who is in South Africa. She's been to Africa for quite some time because she has been to Tanzania for a long time, and then now she's in South Africa. Ashley has been living in Johannesburg, and I'm going to be meeting her today in Parkhurst so that we can have coffee and have a discussion and try to find answers to so many questions that people have been asking. I'm meeting her in Parkhurst, and she says she's going to be somewhere in a coffee shop where we can share coffee. Actually, her message to me, an email that she sent, she said, "Can I take you out for coffee?" And I said, yes, why not? And the rest is history. So everything is just going to be discussed today over a cup of coffee. I am very familiar with Parkhurst, but I can't seem to find the coffee shop where she's at. So I've been driving around, and another problem in Parkhurst is parking. It's very difficult to find parking. So I'm going to find a spot where I'm going to park. Then I'm just going to try and walk towards the coffee shop where she is, and we are going to have a conversation. A number of African Americans have moved into the continent looking for something, and then sometimes they go back to America because they just cannot be able to find their ground in the continent. It is very true that if you come unprepared, the continent can be very overwhelming for those who've been living in the big cities in America. So today I'm going to give you tips, and she's also going to share some other tips because she has been in the continent and she has gained a lot of insight on how to live around here, work around in the continent, and most importantly, understand how other Africans who are from the continent are living and doing their own business. We are meeting at 4th Avenue Cafe in Parkhurst, and we are just going to go right into the conversation.
So I'm not the best interviewer, but we're just gonna talk about.
I'm also not, but we're just going to talk because quite a lot of people who are talking about going back to Africa.
Yeah.
Because we are just separated, and it was strategically positioned.
Exactly. It's been done on purpose.
It's been done on purpose, but it takes a lot of education. So you and I, we can understand it, but there are people in the rural areas, for example, who won't understand it. Who won't understand it because they are still trying to fend for themselves. themselves and their families right now. They are just happy with this whole democracy in South Africa. They are happy with, we can be able to just now claim our land or do whatever. It's not even claiming, because we claim, why would you claim something that is yours? But
Right, because it's yours.
it's yours.
To your point, there's just a lot of education that needs to happen.
If you have set your mind that you are going back, you need to understand what home has to offer.
Yes,
Which
Yes.
is the most important thing.
so important.
Yeah.
You have to shift your mind.
Yes, you can't.
You have to prepare
Yes,
mentally,
definitely.
financially, spiritually.
Yeah.
It's a preparation. And although I didn't necessarily prepare in all of the ways, I was
Yeah.
prepared spiritually
Yeah.
and I was prepared financially.
Yeah.
And so all of the other, distractions or things that attempted to shake me off my path, they fell to the side because I was in line with what I'm meant to do and what I've been called to do. So I believe that. I do believe. I've heard the saying, Africa, you don't choose Africa, Africa chooses you. I've been chosen and I accept.
Yeah.
And it's a process. Like you said, I recognize people see America and they think glitz, glamour.
Yeah.
Riches, the best life.
And they would ask you, why are you here? I mean, like, you think you're going to find the same thing here?
Well,
That's not the case. That's
right.
not the case.
I don't think it's the same. I do think South Africa affords a level of familiarity for African Americans coming from Africa, coming from America, versus other places on the continent.
Yeah.
And so, for me, I'm a business woman. Like, I enjoy movement of business. I enjoy, networking and meeting like-minded people. And this is why, South Africa as a country feels best for me. So professionally, I have to come to a place that is going to welcome that and allow me to work in the verticals that I'm interested in, which is agriculture, technology, and consumer goods. So it can be done. There are people that are doing it. But for me, I'm a mom. Efficiency and productivity is a part of my business model at this point in my career.
Well, first thing first, that's priority to Africans in the continent is respect before professionalism. And respect meaning mannerism of how I'm handling you. So CC, Booty, the way I'm going to talk to you before I can see, before I can see you as a businesswoman who shop once. And when you are now a business person who do not understand why and understand the suffering of other people, you're not gonna get it. You're gonna see it as if like, hey, these people they haven't arrived to that level. There is some kind of freedom that we have though. Peace of mind, because as steady as I am, believe me, I have no other issues than the issues and the baggage that you are carrying as a businesswoman. With your dollars, with everything, I'm fine. I would rather be me than be you. They never get that. Hence, people don't succeed in Africa when they come to Africa because they are not doing that.
You have to, I talk a lot about that mindset. It's really your mind and understanding. So a friend of mine, South African, taught me while I was here, because he does a lot of work in international business. And he's like, there's a lot of things he doesn't understand, but he's learned not to complain, not to criticize, and not to condemn. Because those things, you never get far. And some of the mistakes that I see being made are just like the constant criticism of the way things are done. And to your point, the way trade has been happening, it's been working for the African people.
Yeah, they're happy
Well,
in
we
their
can
own
talk
way.
about customer service. That is an us problem, not a them problem, because they're feeding people
Customer
every
service
day.
came with the Western people.
Yeah, that's a
It was not customer service. It was I am helping my sister achieve a certain thing, and my sister is helping me achieve a certain thing.
Yeah.
The level of trading and how we view trading is not at that level for some other people. So it's the same with me, with people who are in the city, as I talk about it on my channel all the time. I said, you need to be prepared, you need to understand what rural South Africa is all about, because it is at that level of like you going to hire somebody else to come and work for you and build your own house. And that person is a very good person to build your house, but they're gonna take so long. Because sometimes they're just gonna arrive at 11, and then when you ask them why are you arriving at 11, they're gonna say, I was busy trying to get my cows out, or my cows were in somebody else's plowing field. I had to go and get them, or I had to go to the chief and go in for a case because something has happened. You know, things like that.
Yeah.
If you do not understand that things like that happen in rural areas, there's a chance you're just going to really go crazy.
Yeah.
Because
You're going to drive yourself nuts.
There are certain days we do not work. Like right now, our this weekend in my village, there are about 3 funerals. When there is a funeral, nobody touches a tool.
I'm learning that.
So imagine an American businesswoman now. I want this house up by Monday. Nothing happens.
No.
And then that you're going to call that
You're going to...
a problem.
And don't hop on social media. It's about understanding the culture, to your point.
Definitely.
And I've heard that about funerals and to the respect.
Yeah.
That is first. And that's one of the things that I love
Yeah.
about just being back on the continent is
Yeah.
respect first. Family is in line with that. Like people look at you as your family if you bring them the positive energy first. You know, I've learned that as well, and not really through others, but through being in Tempe. You greet someone first. You may spend 2 minutes greeting before you ask a question. Not in America. Excuse me.
I'm telling you, or anything else, our goal is to make sure that everybody is self-sufficient. Everybody else is able to wake up in the morning and don't try to figure out where am I going to be able to get tea and bread. They have it.
I think we see, as a foreigner to African Americans, we see a progress that is unique to our perspective today because of where we are in America today.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot about South African history because I've shared this also. In America, we get one perspective of history, which is American history.
Yeah.
We don't learn, and current events. Like the only time we hear about anything outside of the U.S. is if it's bad, if there's war, if there's something bad happening, but we're not informed about certain things about other countries. Even novelists, like it's hard to find South African novelists, Nigerian novelists in an American bookstore. So yeah, when I come here, I stock up on books, and because there are things that just aren't available. So I'm learning a lot, and through that learning, I see a perspective that's obviously different, than the local South African perspective. But it's for me, it's a positive perspective that also is critical is the wrong word. I see things, I see like opportunities, but I also am understanding too. I'm learning at the same time. So I'm not just gonna jump out there and be like, this is not working and this is not, if anything, how can I, and that's my next question to you, the experience that you had with African Americans in the 90s, because I've heard that even with Liberia, the colonization of Liberia, or not colonization, or whatever you want to call it. And even today, it's the same places like Tanzania and Ghana, where we're coming over with this perspective of what we think needs to be, like instead of saying how can we collaboratively support, or like what type of value can we add in a way that isn't like overimposing or trying to take the wheel. Because I have my perspective on how I could add value, but it's always great to understand from somebody who is on the ground, been doing it, very familiar, and can look at me in a way that I can't see myself and say, okay, this is where I think you would do well, or this is where I think you could support.
That's it, guys. Those are the tips. If you want to move into the continent, do business in the continent, live happily ever after with the people in the continent, because people in the continent are very happy. They love their life. They love the continent. And in any way, try not to impose, but try to live with the people because they have their own way of living. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment.